welcome to our next episode of the Hormone Café. In this episode, I really want to emphasize mastering the basics. Why your fertility foundation matters more than having the perfect supplements. If you have ever switched to mold-free coffee, bought another supplement, or Googled best prenatal for egg quality at 10 p.m., this is the episode for you. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. You absolutely care. But the biggest drivers of your fertility and your hormone balance are not the advanced things, but the basics. One thing that I see in my patients over and over is that they're caught up in something really, really rare and something that actually doesn't necessarily have to do with their fertility. They're having every single thing that they eat be organic. They're looking up these really specific and rare brands and that kind of a thing. And it's not that you can't do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of preventing bad environmental exposures and making sure that what we eat is actually high quality. However, the first thing that you have to do is master the basics. If we don't have the basics mastered, it doesn't matter. For example, if we are not starting our day with breakfast and eating breakfast and we're not doing well, then it doesn't matter if we're having mold-free coffee. I had a patient, for example, who said that she got her coffee from this highest quality, best company ever of all time, best, cleanest organic coffee. And I said, okay, well, tell me about your morning. And what she was doing was she was taking this coffee and she was adding candy cane creamer and she wasn't eating breakfast. So I don't care how fancy your coffee is, it's not going to help you if you add a bunch of sugar to it and don't eat breakfast. So thus, I really want to emphasize mastering the basics. We're going to use an example of LeBron James. Now, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but at least I know who LeBron James is. And if we think about LeBron James, he has been able to be an excellent, relevant basketball player for many, many, many years. So let's look at some of the principles that he uses to be an excellent basketball player and apply it to our lives so we can truly master the basics. Because sometimes we think of hormone balance and fertility as a sprint, right? I'm going to Google this supplement. I'm going to take it for 2 months. I'm going to get pregnant in 3 months. Or I have horrible PCOS. I'm going to Google this supplement. I'm going to take it. And then my PCOS is going to be fixed in 3 months. Like, yes, our goal for you is to get your goals satisfied as quickly as possible. However, we do want to think about the long game, right? Because even when our PCOS is under control, even when we're pregnant, we want to make sure that we feel amazing day in and day out for many months and many years, not just a couple months. So think about LeBron James. This is a guy who spends over $1 million a year on his body. He has access to the best of everything. But if you actually look at his daily routine, it's not fancy at all. It's very, very basic and it's built on consistency. So when you look at the things that he eats, it's literally lean protein like chicken or fish, vegetables, complex carbohydrates. It's nothing fancy. He's not eating these fancy protein shakes. He's not taking a ton of supplements. His diet is literally exactly what we have: chicken, fish, some kind of protein, vegetables, complex carbohydrates. And then he gets 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night. So he literally sleeps like it's his job, because it is. And he also practices the same shots over and over again, like free throws and 3-pointers. He's not practicing these really fancy, rare, advanced things. When you look at his practice schedule, the first thing on his practice schedule is 3-pointers. It's boring, but that is the most important thing in his game, is just practicing free throws and 3-pointers. So sometimes we want to do something fancy because the basic stuff is boring, but we have to master the basic stuff. It's totally essential. And if you look at LeBron's training schedule, it's very clear. He does strength training, he does HIIT, he does mobility, he has recovery built in. It's nothing that we can't do in our own lives. So he's not skipping practice and hoping that a cutting edge supplement will make up for it. He's very, very consistent, very, very intentional about what he does every single day. So let's talk about the 4 basics, okay? Number 1 is nutrition. LeBron isn't surviving on coffee and snacks and then trying to fix it with supplements. He's literally having regular meals. If you look at his diet, he eats about 5 to 6 little meals throughout the day. He probably needs to eat a ton of calories. And when we look at us, we can have 5 or 6 meals throughout the day. We can have 3 meals. But the point is that we need to be consistent. So we need to eat breakfast. We need to eat lunch. We need to eat a high protein snack. We need to eat dinner. If we are a person that can break up our meals, we need to eat 2 mini breakfasts or 2 mini lunches. Or if we're a person that eats dinner really, really late, sometimes you need to eat a little mini dinner so you're not starving by the time you eat dinner. And then every single meal is just the basics, right? Every meal has a protein, every meal has a veggie, every meal has a carb, every meal has a fat, and almost all meals are whole foods. Sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I'm just eating eggs and sausage every single morning for breakfast. It's okay. It's okay to be boring. If we want to be fancy every once in a while, go out to eat, make a fancy meal, that's fine. But just stick with boring, because that is where you're going to have the longevity and feel good day in and day out. Because we need to keep our blood sugar stable day in and day out. If we're getting super bored, we rotate between 3 things, right? We have our eggs one morning, our yogurt one morning, and then our protein smoothie one morning. But it's okay to stick with the boring, okay? Make your life exciting in other ways. If your food is boring, it's okay. Just be consistent about it, okay? You cannot out-supplement inconsistent nourishment. No supplement in the world is gonna fix the fact that you're literally not eating breakfast and not fueling yourself. So before you go Googling the best supplement for this and that and PCOS and endometriosis, the first thing you need to do is keep your nutrition and diet consistent. This is essential. Food is the foundation of literally who we are, and it builds everything. Everything about our health is cornered in nutrition. So instead of eating a supplement for B12, try to get our B12 foods. Instead of having a B6 supplement, let's try to get our B6 foods. One of my philosophies of supplements is we only have a supplement when we absolutely need it. The core is that if we can get something via nutrition, then we need to get it through our food. Omega-3 is a huge example. I recommend that we eat fish 2 to 3 times a week, because then we're going to get enough omega-3 and we don't have to supplement. But some of my patients say, oh my gosh, Dr. P, I'm literally never going to eat fish. I hate fish. Fish is gross. Okay, then those people need to supplement with omega-3. So please, instead of taking a bunch of supplements or making sure that your food is really high quality or from a specific store, the first thing that you need to do is make sure you have the basics down. So the basics are at least 3 meals a day, 80 grams of protein a day, high protein snack in the afternoon, making sure every single meal has protein, carb, fat, veggie. Just keep it simple and boring. Protein, carb, fat, veggie. Okay? Do not neglect your nutrition and think that just because every single thing you're eating is organic means that it's good, right? We can be getting organic ice cream, organic candy. It doesn't mean that it's good for you. We still don't want to have sugar very often. We want to keep sugar only once or twice a week. Stick with the basics, and then after we have the basics down, then we can start getting fancy, okay? I'd rather that you eat 80 grams of protein than that you ate 20 grams of protein, and that protein is from the world's best organic grass-fed cows, okay? You have to make sure we're getting in the protein. Once we got the basics down, then we can get fancy. Number 2 is sleep. Sleep is the foundation also of health. So LeBron literally acts like sleep is his job, because he knows how important recovery is. He literally gets 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. Think about how busy this guy is. He has to train, he has to practice, he has all of these media things that he needs to go to, but no matter what, he prioritizes his sleep. So that's something that we need to be doing too. Sleep is our job. It's really easy, especially for those of us who are night owls, to just be working all night long. That's our best time. But over time, we are going to feel groggy and exhausted, and we're going to burn out our adrenal glands. So when we're feeling exhausted, instead of Googling a supplement, what is the best supplement to take when we're fatigued, just literally make sure that you're getting enough sleep, okay? Number 1, make sure you're getting enough sleep, because no supplement in the world is going to be a substitute for amazing and excellent sleep. Because when we're not getting enough sleep, it just leads to a whole bunch of other bad habits, right? We wake up groggy. When we're super groggy, we don't feel like working out, and then our cortisol crashes in the afternoon, and then we have to drink that second or third cup of coffee, and then we're also throwing off our cortisol levels. So now we're wired at night, and the last thing that we want to do is go to sleep. So we stay up too late, and then the cycle continues. Okay. It's important to break the cycle. We truly have to prioritize sleep. It's super important. And if we're really bad at it, just make sure we have an accountability buddy, right? If your husband's a good influence on you, he can be your accountability buddy, or your roommate. Or if they're not a good influence on you and they tend to be a night owl and they tend to stay up late, then we need a different accountability buddy to make sure that our booties are in bed when they're supposed to be in bed. Sleep is so important because it regulates our cortisol, our insulin, our reproductive hormones. Your body literally makes hormones when you rest. You make hormones when you're not in fight or flight mode, when you're in rest and rejuvenation mode. So we're making hormones when we're resting, not when we're pushing harder. So if our cortisol levels are drained, our hormone levels are drained, literally the core is to sleep. Okay. So before we do anything else, fix our caffeine levels, order creatine, we make sure that we're getting enough sleep consistently night over night. Number 3 is movement. Again, consistency over intensity. LeBron doesn't just go all out randomly. He follows an extremely structured rotation. Have a plan. Sometimes you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh, I just don't feel like working out, but you already have it built in your day. It's already structured. It's way easier to do something when it's part of the plan. So if you look at LeBron's training schedule, it's very basic. Monday, abs. Tuesday, HIIT. Wednesday, yoga. It's nothing crazy that we couldn't do. So it's very important, for example, to rotate in a perfect world, HIIT or conditioning with strength training and weights, mobility and flexibility, active recovery. Just make a little plan. And again, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you can build it into something that you're already doing. For example, if you think, oh my gosh, I'm literally not going to have time in my day to do strength training, it can be really helpful to get weights that you put on your wrist or on your ankles, or a weighted vest, and do something that you're already doing, but just put weights on it. For example, if you're going to spend 10 minutes or an hour or whatever it is every single night cleaning your house, just put on your weighted vest and clean your house in a weighted vest. There you go. Now you have your strength training down. Sometimes we feel like in order to work out, we got to get our clothes on, we got to get out the door, we got to go to the gym, we got to go to a class, we got to take a shower, and then 3 hours later, our half of our day is done. If you're a person that already has that into your routine and you're already going to classes, amazing. Love that. I love that routine. If you're a person where that seems extremely overwhelming and you're never going to do that, don't make it complicated. Sometimes I'll literally, whatever I'm wearing, I won't even change out into workout clothes. I'll just pull up my little workout app on my phone, find a 10-minute video, do a quick workout. I'll make sure if I don't have any access to weights that I just do body weight workout. Boom. Don't make it complicated, but it does have to be planned into your schedule. If it's not planned into your schedule, you're not going to do it. So in an ideal world, we would do alternate strength training, HIIT or conditioning, mobility, flexibility, active recovery. It's very important to recover. We do want to have a recovery day. If you look at the schedule of any elite athlete, they extremely prioritize recovery because we do need to have a rest day. Sometimes that needs to be a true rest day. For those of us who we like to work out because it helps with our mental health, those recovery days can be more like yoga and stretching days and not like our HIIT, high intensity, heavy workout days. So it's extremely important that we're just consistent. We do not have to be intense. We don't have to make it complicated. It just has to be something that you can do day in, day out, every single day. Make it practical and be realistic. If you're super busy and you're literally not going to be able to work out 5 days a week and you're barely going to be able to work out 1 day a week, just literally pick 1 day a week and that's it, okay? Do 5 minutes of strength, 5 minutes of HIIT, 5 minutes of yoga, do your 1 day a week. That's it. 1 day a week that you can do consistently for 2 years is much better than you gun really hard for 2 weeks and then you can't do anything else because it's just not feasible in your life to be working out that hard so often. So the most important thing, pick something small, pick something doable, pick something consistent, okay? It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things consistently. Of course, if you look it up, there's all kinds of fancy plans we can do, pills we can take. We can take pills and shots in order to lose weight. We can take protein shakes in order to enhance our muscle recovery, but none of that is going to help if we literally don't have the movement basics down, okay? You have to have the basics down. Number 4, stress and recovery. This is where progress happens. I think it's a little easier to focus on things like sleep, nutrition, and exercise because they're very tangible, whereas stress is really difficult to pin down. But even people who are working at the highest level, recovery isn't optional, it's scheduled, okay? So just like we have to have scheduled eating times, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, we have to have scheduled stress and recovery times. I know it sounds insane, but you literally need to schedule it into your life, into your calendar, because otherwise your life's just going to take over, right? We're just going to go. We're going to do the next thing, or we're going to feel like something came up, right? We have this extra work meeting. We have to go fold laundry. We have to clean. We're going to go out and do a social thing. Like, if you do not be intentional about scheduling stress recovery times, life will literally just happen to you, and then you'll feel super duper burnt out because you'll never feel like you got any stress or recovery. So sometimes this has to happen on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes it has to happen on a week basis. So for example, like you might need 10 or 15 minutes at night before you go to bed to be your decompression times, where you're not on your phone at all, we're not doing any work, you're just taking a bath, or you're taking a shower, you're doing some reading, or you're journaling, or you're meditating, or you're deep breathing. Like, there has to be scheduled stress relief. It's also really helpful if you have the time when you first wake up in the morning to go outside, get some sunshine, and really ground yourself, right? Stand with your bare feet on the ground, get the sunshine in, just literally schedule that into your day. Sometimes it can be helpful to have certain days that are our rest and recovery days. So like every Wednesday and Sunday, those are our chill days where we don't plan a lot of social things and we read a book or we go on a walk or something that literally rejuvenates us and decreases our cortisol level and fills up our happiness tank instead of burning us down. It can be something fancy like getting a massage, or it can just be something basic like you take a hot bath, you have an Epsom salt, you do some stretching. So it is extremely important to plan it and have strategic rest, whether that's a certain day that's devoted to rest or whether that's a certain time of your day that's devoted to rest, because just like we need a time that's devoted to eating and sleeping, we need time devoted to increasing our cortisol levels in the morning and decreasing our cortisol levels at night. Chronic stress is terrible for our hormones because it will suppress our hormones. And then we do need to protect our nervous systems, right? We don't want to be in flight or fight mode. We want to be in rest and recovery and rejuvenation. So you can't expect your body to feel safe enough to reproduce if it never gets a chance to recover. So think of stress just like you do sleep, eating, and exercise, right? It needs to be planned and it needs to be intentional. So I see a lot of women putting a lot of energy into certain things like gluten-free products or mold-free products or organic, but they haven't even mastered the basics, okay? That's like LeBron focusing on the brand of his shoelaces while he's skipping his shooting drills, right? Once we got the shooting drills down, then we can focus on the shoelaces. The specifics and the boring is what we need to master day to day. Like LeBron is literally practicing three-pointers, lifting weights, sleeping 8 hours a night. It's not that fancy, okay? So really make sure that we have the basics down. The basics are what's going to create big outcomes. So if you've been focusing on the small things, it definitely makes sense, because sometimes if we feel like something is wrong with our body, we're not able to get pregnant, our hormones off, we're like, what the heck are we missing? But your body doesn't need to be perfect. It really needs to be consistent, okay? And the basics are where we actually have the control. So one thing that I want you to do this week, I want you to pick one basic to master, okay? Just pick one. You can message me which one you picked and how it's affecting your life. So what examples are: you eat a real breakfast with protein, like eggs and veggies. You go to bed at the same time each night consistently. You walk every single day after dinner, ideally within 1 hour after eating, or you added in 2 strength sessions, or you built in a short wind down routine. Don't make it complicated. Keep it basic, keep it boring, and just pick one at a time, okay? Don't get overwhelmed. One thing that I find helpful is if there's a gazillion things that we want to fix, just pick a theme for every single month, okay? This month, I'm going to eat breakfast within 1 hour of waking up every morning. Next month, I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, and just have a little calendar, and each month just focus on something, right? The month after that, I'm going to focus on getting my 80 grams of protein. The month after that, I'm going to focus on getting my 35 grams of fiber. Like, just keep it basic, add one thing at a time. Don't make it overwhelming, but just literally make sure we have the basics mastered before we go Googling the crazy and the fancy, okay? So LeBron didn't become LeBron because he was chasing the newest craze, the latest supplements. It's because literally for the last 20 years, he's doing the same thing over and over and over again. And our fertility and our hormone balance works the same way, okay? So the basics are what I want you to master. And if you're having trouble, we can literally spell it out for you, what you need to be doing on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Please don't hesitate to make an appointment with us. Our website is verafertility.com. I am rooting for you. I want you to be your happiest, healthiest, wholest self every single day, every month, and every year. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Hormone Cafe. Please stay tuned for our next episode.